Hello and welcome to the IGN UK podcast. This week I'm joined by Gav Murphy.
All right.
Rory Powers.
Hello.
And I am Alex Simmons.
Yes,
hello, gents.
you are.
Do you want to do your impression then?
What?
Of me? That you just
yeah, but I
for the
wanted
people
to
at home?
open the podcast with the...
Go on, pretend we haven't started then. You do it. See
Okay.
see if they would ever know.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Gavin Murphy. Oh, I went a bit weird there. I can only do the... I can,
that was what was wrong with it, was it?
I can only do the Prepare to Try intro.
Do the prepare try intro.
This is Prepare to Try, a show in which we challenge one man who's never played Dark Souls before
to go Rastafarian on the podcast.
It's hard. Doctor Who.
You sound like that Liverpudlian comedian, but I can't remember his name. He's got the long hair and bright white teeth.
I think the Welsh accent is the hardest one to do. I can't do it.
You know the one I mean?
Yeah, it's good.
John Bishop.
John Bishop,
You sound like John Bishop, not Gav Murphy.
Okay. That's what I was going for.
So repitch it as a John Bishop impression.
And I nailed it, yeah.
Sound like Bellends, what you sound like.
All right,
Come on.
Anyway, we are going to talk about Ghost Recon because Rory and I went to Paris to see it last week, and we're also going to do Keyword Countdown, my least favourite part of the entire podcast.
Of life.
But first, Resident Evil has just come out, and you guys have obviously spent a long time playing it. I've not actually seen much of it at all.
Yeah. It's good.
Is it?
It's a good game.
It's a 7.7.
Yeah, Chloe gave it a 7.7, and I think that is bang on.
So you finished it?
Finished it a couple of weeks back, yeah.
Yeah.
I finished it in 2 sit-ins. And we also went out to Japan to play it as well, me and Krupa. The sort of 4 hours that me and Krupa played in Japan, which are essentially like happened in the first like sort of 5 hours.
Yeah.
It's probably the best thing. Like the first 6 hours of Resident 7 is probably my favorite Resident Evil game ever.
Wow.
Like it is so good. But then it drops. Not. Whoa.
Oh my gosh, unprofessional.
That is unprofessional.
Hey,
Like Capcom.
Rory.
what the fuck you saying?
Rory, switch your phone off, man. That's just
Oh
embarrassing.
no! Come on. They won't know any better.
I mean, I can't think of another game where I've been so excited by the first. Like, it's so good. It's terrifying. Like the boss battles are really sort of intense and like really claustrophobic.
Right.
We were actually just talking like really recently about there's a particular boss in Dark Souls in the first one, the Capra Demon.
Yeah.
It's a very, very small area.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hardest bits of it is that you've got to maneuver this tiny little bit and you've got to go up on the stairs and it's like it's really hard to sort of get around it because he's a really, really tough boss, but the environment is like even worse.
There's just nowhere to escape.
And that's what happens a lot in the Resident Evil thing. There's a bunch of stuff that happens in the boss fights where you're just like, I don't know, they're just on top of you all the time.
I really love that as well because that feels a lot like the first one.
Yeah.
Like if you think about even fighting the snake, it's just you're in that tiny little room fighting the nemesis at the end. And it's basically just the you. Like there's not a lot of space. One of my things that I love it and simultaneously hate it in video games is when you kind of enter a room and there's it's a small room and it goes straight into a cutscene and the cutscene kind of ends with the boss moving towards you and then it goes back into gameplay and you're like, he's gonna be right here, he's gonna be right at me, and just having nowhere to run. That would just keep the tension way, way high.
And like
great.
what they've done in Resi 7 as well. Sorry if you can hear that drilling. Can you hear that?
And it's my pet woodpecker. I brought it in today,
Bastion's outside.
What they've done is like they've created two really good enemies in Resident Evil 7, but they're so terrifying and they're so good at Jack and Marguerite that they kind of put the rest of the enemies to shame.
Right.
And they're almost too good because nothing comes close to as scary as those two are, because later on in the game you fight a lot of the sort of molded creatures that we've seen from all different things, basically like big goop monsters.
Yeah.
And like they're just obviously like they're faceless things, like, and they're just not scary because they're just bullet sponges basically.
And also I guess there's nothing behind you fighting them. They're just monsters. You're fighting them because they're monsters.
Well, they are ascribed some kind of like backstory, but to be fair, it's not like huge.
Yeah, because you spend a lot of time with the family.
Yeah.
So it's like you're a bit more invested in them.
But also not even that. It's just the fact that they're more like tyrants, or they're more like the alien in Alien Isolation, where it's just like they're really tough. Like unless you're actually in the boss fight, there's really no point fighting them. You basically need to evade them.
Right.
And that can just be awful because you never know where they're going to be, and their behavior is so unpredictable but amazing. Like you forget that they're about as well, and you're like, oh, I need to go back upstairs for something. You go back upstairs, and then Jack is just there, and you're like, oh, Christ, now I've got like 20 minutes of running away from him until I can do the next bit.
So do you think it would have been better if they just stuck with the family or like humans, I guess?
I do, but at the same time, I understand Capcom's problem, which is like, they've got to make.
They've made it a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, they need to, but they also need to make like a 10+ hour game. And I think like even like Alien Isolation, which I absolutely loved, like that game could have been 2-3 hours shorter, and I would have absolutely adored it. But like as I came out of it, I was just like, I'm ready for this to be finished now.
But don't you think they could have done that without introducing kind of, I don't know, zombies? I know they're not zombies or whatever they're called.
As in, like, they could have introduced like more family members.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something that you can relate to.
Yeah.
So, but I guess in that respect, it wouldn't feel so much like a Resident Evil game because that is what inherently what Resident Evil is. You're fighting against this kind of,
and that's
Umbrella Corp. Is still Umbrella Corp, or is it that nothing to do with that anymore? Or is that a spoiler?
It can't really. All right, yeah, but like, it's but also like there's a really. Like the way that you've got like Jack's house, which is like the Jack's part of the house, where you fight Jack mostly, and like that feels like a really different game to Marguerite's, which feels really different to Lucas's. Lucas's is probably the weakest one, but that's because I thought it was going to be a lot better and a lot longer than it actually was. But Lucas's stuff then opens up like the last bit of the game,
right?
And but the story is like genuinely really good as well.
Yeah.
Like what's happened to them and all this different stuff. Like it's a really, really good game.
Okay.
Like, and as I said, like the first 6 hours are probably some of my favorite Resident Evil ever.
I haven't played it in VR yet. I really want to play it in VR.
It's good. I like it in VR. There's a couple of like really weird bits though, like environmental stuff is the scariest stuff in there. Like it's scary having obviously the family in your face and stuff like that. Yeah. But at the same time, like there's a bit where you're on a ladder and you're pulled off the ladder backwards. Yeah. Fucked.
Imagine that in VR.
Like,
horrible. You would actually
absolutely horrible.
Like especially if you're standing up and playing.
Oh, it's so nasty.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And the other thing I felt kind of strange about is when you crouch. I couldn't handle that at all. Like I don't get sick. I know this sounds mental, but like when you crouch, like you're obviously your thing just goes. But if you're sitting down and then that happens, you're kind of like, like really, really strange.
It is funny when it's the things that you don't expect to like, put you off so much. Because remember when we were playing, like when the first like the opening hour first came out on demo, you get to the end of that demo and. What's his chops at the end grabs Jack, you and he's like, welcome to the family, and hits you, and you think that would be like the scariest moment, you're like getting grabbed by him. But I remember us walking down the hallway and at one point a mannequin in the corner just fell over and I just like lost it. I just like absolutely just screamed audibly, like it was horrible. It's funny, just it's never the things you expect are actually going to scare you that much.
No, definitely, yeah.
So in VR I'd probably just be swinging punches.
Yeah.
Don't be in the studio while I'm doing that. Insane.
There you go. So as a long-term Resident Evil fan, is it a good base to kick off or reboot the franchise? You reckon they can continue doing it in the same vein?
Well, they've got a bunch of DLC planned for it.
Right.
And they've revealed the titles, but they haven't revealed what it is. And there's a bunch of stuff that happens in the game that they could do some really cool DLC with. Like Lucas basically, his sort of shtick is sort of traps and kind of like, he's really like Saw, basically.
Right.
And you've got a couple of really good like locked room puzzles with him. I feel like that could just continue forever.
Right.
Because they're kind of like standalone when you play them in the game, like one of the bits are. And I kind of feel like I could just do that all the time. Because they're really evil, nasty puzzles, but they feel like Resident Evil as well, but there's a big Saw element to them. But like I think that's a really good way of doing DLC for it. But
so speaking of lock room puzzles,
yes,
like you and Alicia did like the Resident Evil experience, which is kind of that, but in real life, right?
Yeah, that's right. So basically, Capcom did a thing for fans, which was to recreate the house, the Baker house, and then have people go through it and have to solve stuff. So me and Powers went down last night and had a meal in the house. And so you got a little taste of like one of the locked room puzzles.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a lot like
such a weird night.
When we were doing it, it was a lot more intense. So basically, you go in and you're basically just not given any kind of like instructions or anything, and you go through these different rooms and you've got to solve the puzzles in them.
Right.
And like two of the puzzles, like genuinely, like if those puzzles had been in the game, I'd have been like, that's amazing.
Right.
There's one UV puzzle which you really have to work together. So basically, you're in a kitchen. There's a kitchen, and next door is basically like a morgue.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's a morgue next to a kitchen, but there we are. And you've got
Zombies cooking it up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, makes sense. Right?
And but you've got this UV torch which is on like tether.
Yeah.
So you have to go. One of you has to go into the absolutely pitch black room.
Yeah.
And the other one has to stay outside because the UV torch is attached to the wall.
Yeah.
To a switch. So Alicia was like, "Do you mind? Will you go in the room?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Because like Alicia is genuinely straight up afraid of the dark.
Right.
Like, which is obviously the best.
Is she the right person to put in the house? Like,
she was
let alone jump scares and like insane families.
Yeah.
Just the dark scares.
Alicia was like, just not going in that room. Like, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. You do the switch. So I'm going in and I'm like, God, the UV light on the thing. Then like keeps going off because Alicia's taking her finger off the button. But
Right.
I was like, whoa, what's happening? And then I have to basically crawl inside a morgue thing. Like, you did that yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
What?
So basically you have to crawl inside like one of those drawers where there's a dead body.
Yeah.
And then there's a message on the wall, on the ceiling. You've got to shine the thing
Oh my
on.
God, that
You're
sounds horrendous.
Yeah, you're basically trying to make a poison so you can poison the family.
Right.
But oh man, it was so scary. But like I was genuine because Alicia's very, very jumpy and I'm very jumpy, which is why they wanted us to go do it. But like I was genuinely really impressed with like Alicia and how she held up.
Really?
She was very methodical about it, and like because I was panicking, but I was kind of like leading the puzzles. But Alicia, I was like just shouting like instructions, and like we absolutely nailed it. Like we were talking.
You did good, right? Because there's things you could find. You found green.
We found like herbs, we
something.
found bullets, and they've basically there's all these different fail safes in there, so everyone gets the same experience, but people are better at it. But me and Alicia were talking to people at the party afterwards, and it seems like some people who've done it are just absolute nimrods, like had no idea what. Like they were just like, oh yeah, didn't get that. We were like,
So there wasn't you weren't like faced with any of the bakers or anything like that. That didn't happen. Oh, that did happen.
Yeah. So
Oh, right.
like,
Oh
so
my
basically,
God.
Put like a bag on Alicia's head.
yeah,
Like,
so
yeah.
you start off and then you do these two puzzles. You basically the idea is you need to get these ingredients for this poison to poison the family.
Right.
That's the thing. And then you open one door. You solve the riddle in one room.
Yeah.
Mix the poison. Boom. Door opens and Lucas is just standing there. Puts a bag over your head. Brings you in and sits you down at the dinner table, which looks exactly like the dinner table in
my
the trailer
God.
and the game. And then basically him and Jack shouting stuff at you. You can hear Marguerite upstairs.
So you got the bag on your head all this time?
Yeah, but no, they take it off then.
Okay.
And they get in your face and like spitting on you, like touching you, and stuff like that.
That
And
sounds horrendous.
it was it was really scary. Because like I was also like we were talking to some journalists afterwards, and they were like, "Yeah, we were like joking about," and like they were kind of like trying to break the experience.
Yeah,
which I think is really fucking easy to do.
Yeah.
Like just go along with it. So we were acting. We were basically pretty much trying to, in our heads, trick ourselves into thinking it was real.
Yeah.
Was that why you pissed yourself?
Yeah.
I was just getting character, which I think is the hardest thing to do.
Spill my
really.
drink.
Yeah, but then like you've got to poison them, so you've got to like they're like, okay, well Jack, like I had the poison on me, and Alicia was going to get this gravy, so I was like, oh shit, I've got the poison, so we were like, let's like pass it under the table.
It's in
and
the gravy?
shit. Yeah. They came back and he was drinking the gravy. Then I had to go poison the drinks. So I was like, shit, Alicia, give me the poison back. So I had to get the poison back and go poison their drinks and stuff. It was really good. It was utterly terrifying.
Even the dinner we went to was because it was more of just to sit down and enjoy the meal, but then also they had like bits of immersion where the family would come in, and I had to do the similar thing. I had to poison them towards the end of the dinner.
Yeah.
Man, I was so scared. I've never been so scared in my life. And I was like, apparently the opportune moment would be very evident.
Yeah.
So I was just waiting. I was like, should I poison the water? Should I just like throw it in their eyes and we should all run? And then of course at the end of the meal they come in and Jack's like, how about we make a toast for this lovely evening? And I just like stood up like really awkwardly and I was like, yes.
Yes, there shall be a toast.
Like, I shall pour the drinks. It's like, just like grabbed all these 3 drinks and went over to the corner. And they're, I'm just like fiddling about with this bottle while they're going like, what you doing over there, Rory? And I'm like, just making special Georgia cocktails.
The best thing about it was like,
Is that what you said?
I was so scared. I was honestly
but the best thing
sweating
about
bullets.
it is, obviously, he's from Georgia,
Yeah.
and the game is I think it's set in Louisiana,
Right.
so the accents are very similar. So when they must have thought thought you were taking the piss.
I think they did, yeah.
Because like when you first, obviously you've got a mad accent anyway, but like you,
Right,
but like because you kept saying stuff in a really weird way, like I shall pour the drinks, but in your accent, it must sound like you were taking the piss all the time.
Why is that boy so sweaty in the corner? Just like,
and then it turned out that the Marguerite was actually from Georgia, right?
she was actually from Georgia,
Right,
So she
okay.
wasn't even doing an accent.
Yeah, because she always broke character when you went in, right? Because she was just like, I'm from Georgia.
Right.
It was also funny as well because I was talking to Jack, and after I told him I was from Georgia, I think he was trying to get me to break my bit, which obviously isn't a bit. So I was like, oh, I'm from Savannah. He's like, Savannah, and he's like, and your name is Rory. Well, that sounds like an Irish name. And I was like, well, Jack.
Kruber was like, oh, for fuck's sake, not this again.
Funny story, Jack. The year is 1991. A young boy is born in a log cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
But poisoning the family, it was so funny because then as the night progressed and we were eating dessert, then they started like acting weird, acting funny, calling me out. They were like, what did you do to us, Rory?
Right.
And then they all started like falling on the ground. At one point they were just like screaming my name. It's like, I feel very bad about this. It did not feel good.
So all he did really was make us dinner. And it was actually really nice dinner
Yeah,
as
they
well.
were very nice.
Yeah.
was
It was
really
done
good.
by there's like an immersive dining experience called the Ginger Line, which is done by like Michelin style chefs. So it was them doing the food.
Right.
And it was just so good.
Was it made to look like pretty sort of grim?
Yeah. It was just
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
Oh, it's foul looking, yeah.
It
It was
looked-
basically like a jar full of soft shell crabs and prawns.
Right.
Which were amazing, those prawns. Were so good,
It's
yeah.
weird because it's something, it just looks so grotesque,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it just tasted incredible.
Right.
So even the end dessert, it was kind of like a raspberry sort of like red velvet cake,
Yeah.
but dressed up to look like this horrible bloody heart.
Right.
And even when they were serving it, they were like trying to hand it off to the table, and one of the actors cut their wrist like with one of the knives by accident,
Right.
and he was like oozing like raspberry jam blood.
Is it on your jeans?
It went all over my jeans. And he did it like over Dan's shoulder.
Yeah.
He got like covered in like raspberry sauce. And Dan, he's like stony faced, like, brilliant. That's gonna stain. It's
Yeah.
like, cheers, Jack.
It did look like he might say.
I think it might. I tried to wash it off my jeans.
But it was a really good night. Like I haven't gone back to play Resi since the experience, but I probably would have enhanced it a little bit, having had Jack's nipple very close to my face. But yeah,
And that was after the event as well, which is weird.
I would very much recommend getting Resi 7 and playing it in as fewer sessions as possible. I played mine in 2 sessions.
How long is
Binge
it?
it.
It took me 11 hours. Took Krupa 10. Took Dale 9.
That's quite a big couple of sessions.
Yeah, I played it like 1 in the night and then 1 in the morning all
Right.
the way through.
Bottler.
But the preceding morning.
I didn't go back in time.
No, was it like a week later?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I played till I just started in the night, played all the way until like 3 a.m. and then got up the next morning and finished it.
That's very intense.
It is really, but it's an intense game, and I think it lends itself to that. I think it's really good. But then maybe that's why towards the end I was like, "Fuck, come on, like get."
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like you just blitzed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you were sat on a plane for that long playing the same game.
Yeah.
You'd probably get pretty bored.
Yeah, there's actually, when we get to our questions later on, there's one question later on which is relating to the end boss. So I'll save that for then.
Okay.
So, guys,
Good.
you went to Gay Paris.
Rory and I,
Yes.
little trip to Paris, just the two of us.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
It's very pleasant.
Stop off at the Louvre, see Mona Lisa.
No, we were next to, what was it?
The Pompidou Center, right by the
Centre.
Pompidou Center.
Were you indeed?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's beautiful.
God, it was cold.
It was the coldest I've ever been in my life.
Really?
You know when you're wearing
really cold.
clothes, but just the
Here we go.
breeze
This is gonna be
just
good.
cuts through it. Like it just feels like you're wearing nothing at all.
No.
To be fair, you were wearing kind of what you're wearing now,
But all open.
but you didn't have your jacket done up or your shirt or anything.
Look.
It's like, wow.
Fashion comes at a price.
Yeah.
And that price is
It's hardly
is being sick for weeks.
What were you playing?
We were playing Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah.
Wildlands.
Is it wild?
There is
Oh,
land
it's
in
wild.
it, and there is some wild land in it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there's also some not wildlands, some very grey and brown.
Does look very grey and brown.
Yeah, at one point Dan thought
Bolivia.
the footage was black
Is it
and
Bolivia?
white.
Yeah.
But we also, it's worth saying, we also only got to look at a very specific part of the map. So we were looking at quite a...
The shite mode.
Yeah, basically. Like jungle, just like typical plains.
So when it started off, it was in a much kind of lusher area or province of the game, and that looked decent, I thought.
Yeah.
And it's a completely open world game, so you jump in a jeep and go where
Yeah.
the heck you want. It's very much like Far Cry in that respect.
Okay.
In that you've got main missions that carry the story along,
Yeah.
but then you've got a bunch of other stuff that unlocks weapons and expands the map and loads of stuff.
Yeah.
So you can do it in any order you want. But yeah, and then the second half was, a lot of it is at night, which I think is fine when you're playing it, but when you're trying to show the game on IGN,
that's not great, is it? Yeah.
It's not great. And also because we didn't go through any of the tutorials, just bang, you're in there.
Okay.
So I didn't realise that, night vision was mapped to one of the D-pad buttons. And I was like doing this convoy chase. Where's the truck gone? And then halfway through, there's night vision. It's like, thanks for telling me that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
But I like the idea of it in that it's Ghost Recon, which I love.
Yeah.
And mixed with Far Cry, which, two of my favourite series.
Yeah.
But the execution is just not quite right there.
Okay.
That's partly because it's buggy.
Yeah, you had a lot more than I did.
Yeah, which is weird. There was a bit where we were both flying in the same helicopter.
Yeah.
And on my screen, it looked like he just kept on jumping out.
I saw that. It's fucking hilarious.
And I was like, what are you doing? 'Cause the thing is, I wouldn't put it past him. Let's face it.
To find a way to continuously die.
You say later on when you were meant to subdue the guy and you just stabbed him in the head.
Oh my god, we spent a good 10 minutes
we
trying
tried
to
that mission
find
6 times.
Find this target, and we all had different points. Took out the guards, moved into formation, and I saw the guy we had to take.
Yeah.
So I came up, grabbed him from behind. It's right now you need to put him on the helicopter, and I was like, cool. I'll press X to knock him out and drag him there. Mission failed. You've killed. His body just dropped on the floor.
Just blood all over your face.
I'm just listening to the sighs of other games journalists in the headphones as well. Just being like, should we try that again then? It's like, yeah. Be a little easier this time, Ghost 3? It's like, yeah, sorry. Never.
That's the other kind of problem with it. It's all playing it in that environment with people who go approach it like a GTA game or something like that.
Yeah.
And B, don't team up, is that there were times when, one person would take the helicopter and then just fly off and you're like, great, I'll just run to the objective, which is 7 kilometers away.
Yeah. I saw a lot of footage of you just driving off and then just stopping.
There's lots of
so forgot
you gotta keep up with
Come
me.
on, Ghost 4. You're just doing
They go to open the door.
Yeah.
It is weird because as soon as we left the event and I was looking back over some of the footage to make these, I was also looking at the trailers they have that showcase a lot of the gameplay, and I was looking at it all and I was thinking, why don't I want to come back to this game? Because it has it's what you said, it's all the ingredients are there. It's open world, you can attack any situation any way you want, on online 4-player co-op. That sounds great. That's everything I want.
It's not your kind of game.
There's just something about
It's
it.
a lot more, you can't just bowl in. You have to, if you're in a helicopter.
I beg to differ,
but you die. But if you're in a helicopter, you got to land, I don't know, half a kilometre away, and then approach stealthily. The official trailer that they launched last week illustrates how that game is meant to be played. We did not play it like that.
You watched the trailer? Should have watched the trailer.
The trailer came out after we played it.
Got an excuse.
There we are.
I guess with things like the synchronized sniping and
synchronized
marking enemies,
all of that stuff, and that's partly not our fault because we didn't go through all of the stuff, and it's it's a long
it
time
is a bit weird though, where it's
game.
okay, here's the new Ghost Recon game. It's open world. You can approach it, your objective from any way you want, but this is the way you should do it, and it's stealth. It's kind of because in Far Cry, for example, I love stealth. I love getting the bow out, marking the enemies, taking them down, using bait to get tigers out there. But also, you can equally go in with your flamethrower and just roast them.
But then it wouldn't be a Ghost Recon game. The part of Ghost Recon's heritage is that there are elements of tactics to it.
Yeah.
And I guess you if you were good, there is no reason why you couldn't have one guy on the mountain sniping, another guy going in on the ground, and then 2 people in helicopters providing covering fire. You could totally do that.
Yeah.
If you were good. We just weren't there at that point.
It's what you said. I think as soon as we can get the game into the office and on lunch, all play together, that's when it's going to be in its best light. That's when it's really going to shine.
Is it sort of GTA in when you do a heist and there's a very specific way of doing it, but you can kind of...
This was my other problem with it because...
You were playing like GTA?
Well,
I remember the first time one of the first times we ever played games together. Like I barely knew you. We were trying to play GTA.
And afterwards, you knew everything you needed to know.
Exactly. It's just like just on the trip to the first objective. Yeah, like, there you go. This guy's a nutcase.
It was like me, Alan Krupa, just waiting like by the doors, going, "Where are you, pals?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm on my way." And you just look up, and you just like in the background, you just see a car just going in the air. It's just like, is that a plane?
On the horizon.
Yeah, literally come down, and then like come up, then like the car just bowls down to the docks, like killing loads of people. You just jump out wearing nothing except pants.
It's like blood all over the pouring out of the vehicle.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I remember when we went to play Heist at Rockstar.
Oh yeah, that was
and
hilarious.
they'd be like everyone would be at the point waiting. Be like, all right, like everyone here, everyone ready to get going. It's like, oh, we're still waiting on Rory. It's like, Rory, you coming? It's like, yeah. And all you can hear is me tapping the run button because I'm like up in the hills and my car's exploded and I'm like 200 miles from the nearest road.
Oh my god!
It's like, you guys want to like take a little break? I'll just be there in a second.
Yeah, maybe get some ammo, guys. Yeah, well done.
But this is like the problem because I think in my mind, seeing what I thought the game was going to be, which would be similar to Heist, 4 people on a team, you've got your mission, you have to complete it. There's no, like, Heist, you can do it in a number of ways, but it still forces you in a very, like, in one-way direction. Whoa. Whereas, like, a lot of the missions we did in this, I felt was, you need to go here and kill this guy.
Yeah.
You did it. Now go to this place and kill this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the base of the mountains. Go there, get the intel, then kill this guy.
Yeah.
It was always kind of the similar thing.
Right.
Whereas like Heist, like rob a bank, break someone out of prison, very varied. Whereas like this was kind of like rinse and repeat, which I guess if you want to have that, like a game that you can play a lot with your friends, then that's the easy way to do it is just kind of copy paste missions.
And I guess like it's a bit different because, as a soldier, that's pretty much all you do is go around and shoot someone. You're not a bank robber and you're not doing all this other cool stuff. And also you're in Bolivia, which is probably not as rich a playground as somewhere like Los Santos.
Can't get that cheeky in Bolivia.
Yeah, they shut that down pretty fast.
Yeah.
But again, I think once we see, because there's like, we didn't see much of the sort of jungle, which they showed in that trailer, which looks cool.
Yeah.
And hopefully would provide a lot kind of, I guess like helicopters wouldn't be anywhere near as like useful as they were in our mission because there were so many helicopters.
Yeah.
Like I think I drove a car once when it was parked right next to me and I was like, I'm just going to fly everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is a bit silly.
The helicopter video you've got where the helicopter just doesn't land properly and it just takes off by itself is so funny.
But also, the fact that the person flying it thought, I'm just going to land this on the water. It's like, it hasn't got like...
the person flying that
hasn't got floats
crazy
or anything.
That's a really good point. Why did you think?
Look, I was flying the helicopter.
Yeah.
And the video feature we were going to do was all the vehicles that you could get in Ghost Recon Wildlands, which turned out to be not that many in the part we were playing. So I was driving my helicopter and I saw some boats by the water. And I was like, brilliant, I've done the helicopter bit, I can do the boats now. So I very graciously, very uncharacteristically for Rory.
Yeah, you do come in quite slow,
I came in very slow, right above the water.
Is anybody else on the team being like, I don't know what's happening here?
So I hopped out, little graceful splash in the water over to the boat, and I look back, and the helicopter hasn't sunk into the water.
I don't know why it didn't sink. That's just weird.
It's continued to spin out of control like a skipping stone and just dance along the pond for like a good 10 seconds until it just explodes on the horizon.
But did you think it was just going to stay on the surface? Is that what you do when you're in a swim pool? Like if you go in really slowly, you can walk on the water.
I thought I would hop out and it would just go like, bloop, just plop down. Gracious.
It wasn't like a big river, man. Like...
Also,
I don't think we're going to get answers.
The video is so funny. Like when you showed me, like I couldn't stop laughing. Then later on that night, I was on a date. And I just, when just something pops into your head, it popped into my head. And this girl's like, what are you laughing at? Like...
Just helicopter video.
Trying to explain that.
I was like, it's a first date. I'm not saying that. I was like, just something happened at work. Anyway.
Human television.
Yeah. What else did we play today?
Well, we haven't spoken about Overwatch for a while, have we?
Not for the last 20 minutes.
And it's worth talking about.
Yeah, because it's new today.
Because the big updates come. Year of the Rooster. Right? DLC, which brings with it Capture the Flag.
Yeah. Capture the Rooster.
Capture the Rooster.
I wish it was rooster shaped. I wish it was like
flag.
a big, like it's called Capture the Rooster. So I wish it was
the
like
cock or something like that.
Yeah, I wish it was a rooster. Imagine like Roadhog just running out with this big rooster under his arm.
That'd be good. Like leaving feather trails so you
like
can see where
Zelda.
they've like where they've gone.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Because there's no rule that says it has to be a flag.
No,
Well, apart from the mode, it's called Catch the Flag.
Change
called
it.
Capture the Rooster.
Capture the cock. We changed this.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think
like it.
Well, we got destroyed.
We
Yeah.
got wrecked. They've found a way to make a game that relies solely on teams cooperations rely even more on team cooperation.
yeah.
Like we were getting crushed. If you have a team that is competent enough to link together 3 ultimates, they're gonna beat you pretty much like every time.
But I do feel like I don't think we've had like the best thing of it, because I think like what I said at the beginning that we should do is take the Tracer in, but with the Reinhardt.
Yeah.
And then that's literally what they did later on then. And I think that's a really good thing, because if Tracer goes in, you can get it while the Reinhardt is fending off any kind of turret stuff, which is what happened to me. So my turret was just shut down completely by this Reinhardt.
Yeah.
And it was just me in there as well. So I was just like, I was running around then to try and get Reinhardt the other side.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay, that's shut down. And then basically Tracer got the flag. Reinhardt started escorting her out. Tracer got killed. Reinhardt got the flag and then just did his charge.
like,
so you went down
straight
like
across the
across all the map. I was like, that is amazing. That was really, really good.
Yeah, I think we're still yet to find the perfect
Yeah.
team comp, but everyone is, because every time we've played, it's been a different.
It's new, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you've always got like pretty much always got a Bastion and a Symmetra.
Yeah.
But Al was saying it would be good to have split it up, so you have 2 people, maybe like a Torbjorn and a Symmetra at the base, then 2 people in the middle that kind of float so they can help defend or help push.
Like if
And
everyone's
then
pushing, they go forward.
Yeah, that makes
Like
sense.
And then
people.
2 people that were always up front.
Yeah, because I guess if you had a
a
soldier in the middle, like that would really work,
He's a
because
really good
you can run
player.
back
He's a
and
really
forth.
good-
Yeah.
I said
midfield
like soldier
player.
maybe a Farah, so
Farah,
she can
yeah.
stay up
Yeah.
and just poke people.
Yeah.
But then it is weird because you think you've got it and you know how the other team are going to play it, and then there'd be a team that just like 5 of them go at your point at once, and you're just not prepared
But
for
I think
it at
that's
all.
if you've got all your ults. Because the other weird thing about it's not like traditional Capture the Flag, where both flags have to be at a base for it to register as a point.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can both like have them and then run them in. Your flag doesn't have to be there to score. So
Yeah.
like I didn't realise that for a while.
Yeah.
And also you have to stand there and wait for it to collect, and you can't get shot during that time.
Oh, yeah, that's a pain in the
You
ass.
can't
She
use.
says.
Well, I was playing as Sombra, and you can't use her invisibility.
Right, okay.
You have to wait for that to wear off before you can take it. It's just like
Just show up. Just waiting for the old flag here to.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of quite a lot like Overwatch in that respect. That there is a sense of like especially if you're defending, you've got more time to take those people out.
Yeah.
So I think it does make a lot of sense. Like if you've done not a team kill, but if you've wiped out a lot of people, you can charge
All
forward
push.
and do that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like I say, I don't think you want to push more than 4 people forward. Whereas my kind of attack, midfield, and defense strategy
We'll see how that
works.
plays out in future games.
That is good.
I also enjoy, because it's what they do with a lot of their updates, where it's kind of just reusing levels,
Yeah.
but with different game modes. And I think this is a really fun example of it, because we were playing in Lijiang Tower in the garden map, and I was going down hallways and passages I never even knew existed, because when it's capture point A or capture point B, you're always following like similar paths. There's like popular routes, but now because you need so many people flanking.
But is there new bits of those though?
I don't think so.
I don't
No.
think so. No, because like I've like the only one which I think is the night market. Like there's a lot nearer our base actually where you can get up and around.
Yeah.
That I've never ever explored, because you're never fighting back there. You're always fighting in the next
Yeah,
part
that's a
of
good
the
point,
map.
That is cool
Yeah.
that it feels like a new
Yeah.
level, even though they've just shifted the area of focus. And now it's insane. But it's good. I think we need to.
Has anybody got any skins yet?
No.
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 Garbage. Absolute garbage.
Although the loot boxes do look nice.
They do, and I like the fireworks and they explode in
That's
the
cool
air.
that you can set a
Yeah,
fire.
that's good. That is really good. Yeah.
But all the good ones as well are 3,000. I'm so far
That's a
off.
lot,
So
man. That's too much.
got some grinding to do before. This is on for a week, is it?
5 days.
Is that all?
That's all.
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't want to pay
Right.
for
What
this.
we should be playing.
What are we
right now, not
doing
podcasting.
here?
Yeah.
We could be capturing the cock.
You could just buy some loot boxes.
Nah, I haven't spent any money
Have you not?
in-game currency, so I'm trying to. Like,
Ever.
stay on that
You're
route.
the only person that hasn't. Have you, Gav?
Actual cash.
You bought
No.
it for a video. You did. You guys opened a bunch of videos.
Yeah, but I didn't do that. I did that for a video.
Oh,
and
right,
actually,
okay.
Joe did that. Yeah.
Because Krupa and Joe and Alicia and Dale. Oh, I'm not sure about Dale actually. They've all bought like the big 50 loot boxes.
Joe
previous
accidentally bought. What did I buy?
150.
150.
50 quid or whatever.
He was fuming that
He's
night.
so
It was
angry.
so funny.
He did get it refunded.
I remember him
still.
sitting at his, because he had to stay late to sort it out. I remember him sitting at his desk in silence, just like his like head in his hands, and me behind him. And I was like, what can I say? And I just went, still though, a lot of skins.
Just imagine if you still didn't get that one that you wanted. Just duplicate and duplicate and duplicate.
Not happy at all.
Here we are, Overwatch.
Yes.
Bit of chat. Love a bit of Overwatch chat.
Now, guys, it's that time that everybody loves,
Except Alex.
without exception. Keyword countdown.
Keyword countdown. Time for keyword countdown. It's keyword countdown. Time for keyword countdown. It's keyword countdown.
Woo!
So if you don't know what keyword countdown is, IMDb use a bunch of crazy keywords to categorize their films. What I've done is taken a bunch of those and you have to guess what the film is. But actually, I didn't have time to do keyword countdown today. So we're actually using keyword countdown from a very lovely person called Stephen Lennon, who sent in some over Christmas because he wrote his own keyword countdown to do with his family over Christmas.
Right.
So
You
yeah.
should sue
So
him
this
for
is
that.
still from IMDb.
Yes, these are also
Okay,
from IMDb, but
right.
he's just written. He did some himself, so we might have some duplicates for films we've done before.
Are they themed?
Which I try not to do. It's not themed. no.
Good.
The theme is Stephen Lennon,
Okay.
which is a damn good theme, if you ask me.
Damn good. Well done, Stephen.
Film number 1.
Okay. Slow, remember?
Okay. Police officer killed in police station.
Terminator 2. Terminator.
Yeah.
Why didn't I say anything? I froze up. It's like the poison all over
love
again.
this game.
I crumble under pressure.
Al, you become one of only 3 people to guess the film on the first clue. 10 points as well.
This is the greatest game ever made.
God damn it.
That was funny though. So obviously the people can't see the video. I said Terminator 2 and I went
Because I thought you were going to say yes, and then you were like, oh shit. Right.
My brain as well was just like, say something, Rory. Say Terminator. I was like, it's
I hate
frozen.
when that happens.
Okay.
Well done, Al.
I feel like I can relax into the game now.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Once you get it, it's fine. Here we go. Film number 2. Oh, actually, no. The other clues that Stephen Lennon wrote for
Okay.
Terminator. Police officer killed in police station. Thrown through a window. Mistaken identity. Character's point of view camera shot. Male frontal nudity. Shotgun. Impersonating a police officer. Future war. Cyborg. Skynet.
If you don't get it from like the last
Skynet.
3, then
I'm pretty worried.
Okay. Film number 2. Opening a window. Bedroom. Box office hit. Rivalry.
Warrior.
Bully comeuppance.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
5 points to Al. He's a natural.
God damn it.
Unlucky fellas.
I was never getting that one. I had no idea.
My favorite of, and then the other ones: Magic 8 Ball, Pizza Van, Claw Crane, Cowboy Boot, Toy Comes to Life. My favorite of that is opening a window because the window's a massive part of that, where they're like on the window and stuff. I really
Yeah,
like
but
that.
like to get that from.
Oh, I know that.
What did you get it on?
You got
Well,
it
there's
from
the rivalries. And the bully is the
Bully
kind of thing.
comeuppance. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
I don't think I'm
remember his
coming back
name,
from this
but yeah.
one. This would be the upset of the century.
As I explain to you every single week.
Upset of the
At
century.
this point, it's always after the second one that
crazy
you lose.
game.
You're like, oh, I can never come back to that. There's literally.
Have you
30,
ever come back from
there's,
this?
There's 30 points
So in a
left.
sense, I am.
I know,
right.
but that would be a hell of a.
Yeah, it would be.
Right, come on then, pals.
Okay, here we go.
This is like 1-2 switch. You've got to stare at each other.
Okay. Film number 3. Invented language. Fictional planet. Bar fight.
Star Trek. Into Darkness. Star Trek.
Weapon of mass destruction.
Star Wars. Star Wars: Force Awakens.
Empire Strikes Back.
Star Wars: A New
Return
Hope.
of the Jedi.
Yeah, New Hope.
Yes, thank God. Imagine you'd got it after all that. Coming and
Yo,
sniped
that
it
would've
from
been
me.
amazing.
I would walk. I would
See, you've got
walk.
7 points there.
That's all right, isn't it?
What was the first one?
Invented language, fictional planet, bar fight, weapon of mass destruction, walls close in, destruction of planet, strangulation, rescue, sword duel, Jedi. So Star Wars: A New Hope.
Right.
Well done. So it's 16-7.
Right. I'm not quite succumbed.
How many rounds? How many rounds?
2 more rounds.
I got to do pretty decent on both these then.
Correct.
All right. Yes. That's how you win.
Extra point for Powers. No, absolutely not. Film number 4. Non-linear timeline. Dance contest. Fixed fight. Slurping a drink with a straw. Cult film.
Raging Bull?
Overdose.
Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yes, come on! This is it! This is the comeback we've been waiting for since this game started.
How many points is he on?
He's on 12. 16-12.
Oh my
Team
God.
Powers! Team Powers!
16-12.
Sugar.
Come on.
My mind has gone blank.
Yes! I've got him in the corner.
Because you
The bell's going,
you saw
but
the
I'm
bright
still
lights of
hitting him.
Hollywood when you got the first one.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't expect to get that.
Okay, hang on.
I'm just going to start guessing anything. Just to throw you off.
Okay. Oh, it's a fucking pain in the ass when this is.
Oh no. I'm always scared that I just won't have heard of the film and we'll just run out.
You're afraid of that, are you?
Yeah.
I'm
one of my
afraid of it.
biggest fears.
I'm afraid of everything.
Okay.
That
sorry.
and spiders.
Okay, so Powers.
Yep.
It's you're 4 points behind. So.
Okay. So you can mark the exact second I lose
Yeah.
the game. Damn it, lost the game.
That's quite low down though.
Yeah, you need to get it before clue number 7.
Okay. That's,
Okay.
yeah, it's
And
quite,
me.
And yeah, and Alex. Yeah.
And Alex, more importantly, yeah. Okay, ready?
Yep. Come on, brain. Come on, brain.
Here we go. Oh, that's a pain in the ass one.
Don't leave with that.
It's all right. Altered version of studio logo.
Anchorman.
Harry Potter.
Lifting someone into the air.
Dirty Dancing.
Spilling a drink on oneself.
What
Why are you looking at him like that? What's going on?
It's because it's Harry Potter, isn't it? Harry Potter and the
Journalist.
Philosopher's
Chamber
Stone.
of Secrets.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter.
for Half-Blood
the original
Prince.
one. The Half-Blood Prince. Harry
Half-Blood
Potter.
Seven.
And the last one. Harry Potter and the fucking Voldemort one.
Goblet of Fire.
Yes!
I had it. That's me. God damn it. I saw you flinch when I said it. Oh. God damn it.
Well done, Al. That's the thing, because I was because you said Harry Potter, and I was kind of like, oh, but then I was going on, I was like, he's never gonna guess another Harry Potter, so that's why I was like, it's because it's fucking Harry
Goblet. I
Potter.
was never going to remember the Goblet one.
You said Harry Potter and the fucking Voldemort one. Al's 8 points is.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been it. That shouldn't have been it.
That's 24 points Al ends on.
History will remember me as the victor.
Really?
Will
That's how it. That's how it.
I don't know, man.
Have you counted the points?
Rory on 12. And Al, as I said, you join an illustrious group of Dale and our reigning champion, Joe Screbbles, is the only person to ever guess
Really?
the first
So
clue.
Krupa's not done it.
Krupa's never guessed on the first, yeah. So Dale's done it twice.
Has he?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Screbs has done it once. Well done. We got 2 bits of feedback. What we got?
I'll go first, saying, so it's Martin Koitzia. He does say, I challenge you to pronounce my name correctly. I don't know if I have or whether I haven't. Anyway, he says, hey guys, what's up? Something's been bothering me for a while now, and I was wondering if it's something you can relate to. After being introduced to Soulsborne games with Bloodborne and playing all of Dark Souls after that, I haven't really been able to enjoy many other games. I see the fun in them and do enjoy them for a while. I'm just not feeling the same kind of excitement and overwhelming experience that the Soulsborne games bring to the table. Now, if you can't answer this question, then nobody can.
Yeah.
The games I enjoy, apart from these, are mostly games that couldn't be more different, like Stardew Valley,
Good
which
game.
I've never played.
It's very good.
So, have there been any games that have set the bar that high that make other games less enjoyable?
Do you know what? Like, I actually generally had this conversation with you and Krupa yesterday, which was like the boss design
Yeah.
in Resi 7 later on. Like, the final boss is so disappointing
Right.
for a final boss.
Yeah.
And I think a part of that, the reason I was so disappointed by it is because we've spent a lot of time playing Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And just like every single enemy, and especially most bosses in that, are designed so amazingly well. Like there's something there's something going on with them that's really interesting.
Yeah.
They've got an interesting backstory.
There's like lore to them and everything.
But not even that. They just look impressive.
Right.
And you can obviously tell like people have spent weeks and weeks, years doing these bosses.
Yeah.
And I just like, it really did wreck Resi for me because we went off like Dark Souls 3, then played Resi 7. It was just like, the last boss is like, this wouldn't even make it into a Dark Souls game.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It is like the first time when we started the show, Prepare to Try.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't played any Dark Souls games, and I just remember after beating the first boss, it's just like I had never experienced that in a video game before.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of just like the adrenaline and euphoria after you beat these bosses, and it's such a part of that game that by the time you manage to beat a boss in Dark Souls, you have spent hours with him. You know, like every one of his moves, you know what he's going to do when in this corner, you know how many attacks you can do before you have to back off. Well, I don't know that, obviously.
You don't.
But it's such a huge deal, and you really feel connected to these bosses.
Yeah.
Which, again, like I've had it where I'll show up to, it is weird going from Dark Souls back to other games where you like reach a boss fight and you just do it first try, and you're like, oh, okay. You forget that's what my life was in video games before like coming to Dark Souls. So it is strange, and I know that can ruin the experience.
Yeah.
But I think it's just appreciating the games and the genres for what they are.
Yeah.
Because if every game was as tough as Dark Souls, no one would be
no one's
video
having a
game
good time
fans.
there.
The entry point would be so tough.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a game to fit in with that, I would recommend Neo, which is coming out, I think, on the 8th or 9th of February.
Very soon, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Who knows that
so
soon?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And it's incredible. It's so good. Very similar. Very
I'm
tough
gonna play
bosses,
that.
intricate fighting mechanics.
Mm.
Amazing.
So on a similar theme, like when I get my Switch, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity for me to finally play Skyrim.
Right.
I played it for an hour, and I was like, this game is boring. But like, I've got bags of time on commute. But then I'd be playing it after Breath of the Wild, and I was like, it's never going to stand up to that, is it?
Well, no,
It's good, but it's very different, I suppose. But then, like, you really like Zelda, so like, it's gonna. Yeah, I know. I do see what you mean.
I know they're similar though, but those are very different games.
Yeah.
Like very
They've
different.
got grass in them, and they've got bows.
Both have a bit of grass. Yeah. Both include Breaths of the Wild.
There you go.
But I don't think the
Can you
there
cook
won't be much overlap.
in a Skyrim?
No, I don't think you can cook.
Damn,
you get
I
food and things. Maybe I don't think you could in Oblivion.
Can you strips, you like gut stuff and get meat.
I'm
from
definitely
that,
gonna get
yeah.
message about this. You probably can cook in Skyrim, but I mean it is so different. I think like most of Zelda is going to be that art direction and character driven, and very much in the Zelda universe. Whereas like if you move on to Skyrim, it'd just be so different. I don't think you'd have a problem.
Okay.
Plus, it's worth going into Skyrim.
Yeah.
Portably as well. Amazing.
I just feel like I'm probably the only person in the entire world that's not played that game. Well, I have. I played it for an hour and it's boring.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be the only person that buys it on Switch.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll click with it though, like, you know, doing it
Maybe.
on the commute and stuff like that.
But so my problem with it last time is it took me an hour to get to the top of the hill. My commute's only half an hour, so it's like if I can get all the way into London, but yet not to the top of one hill, it's like
Fuck it.
God.
Were you even supposed to be climbing that hill? Or were you like? Because I've played.
That's an exaggeration. I like to exaggerate.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a trek sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're not doing waypoints.
And then when I got to the top hill, the guy was like, "Let me give you a job. Here, sharpen this sword." It's like, no, you give me a really sharp sword.
you will find the
and then I'll
materials
kill
at the
you."
bottom of the hill.
Oh, for God's sake.
Let's play Breath of the Wild again.
What have you got?
This feedback comes from James S. Wilson.
Okay.
He says, "Dear podcast, with the Oscar nominations out."
His name's not James. Oh, no, it is James S. Wilson.
One surprise for me is Moonlight for Best Picture. I'm aware I'm in the minority, as I don't think Moonlight is anywhere near as good as the general opinion is. I was wondering what film that won or was nominated for Best Film that you don't like.
That's a good question.
But we were talking about this earlier, like in terms of the Best Picture category.
Yeah.
I've seen one of the films in that.
A lot of them are only just coming out.
A lot of them are very like Oscar baity, very heavy, intense.
Well, I went to watch because I try and watch all the Best Picture nominees because I stay up and watch the Oscars at a friend's house and we do like a little party. But like, so I went and watched Silent, the Martin Scorsese film, because I was like, that motherfucker's getting nominated for all the Oscars. None. barely.
Really?
Like only a couple, not Best Picture, which I think is mad because it's a brilliant film.
Right. I thought the trailer for it looked really, really good.
It's really
was
good. It's
Andrew
hard,
Garfield as
but-
well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
He's in that and Hacksaw Ridge as
Hacksaw
well.
Ridge, yeah.
He's really gone for it this year, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Is Hacksaw Ridge any good?
I haven't seen it. Krupa has, and he really liked it.
Krupp said it's as if the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan, the beach scene, if that was an entire film.
Yeah.
He says it's just horrific.
Yeah.
Like, does that make a good movie?
Is it on the plane to San Fran or not?
It might be actually.
Well, that'd be a nice film to watch, wouldn't it?
I'm trying to think.
Planes going down.
I'm trying to think of like another when loads of Lord of the Rings. When Lord of the Rings was winning, I was like, really? Lord of the Rings is winning Oscars, eh?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, what everyone was.
I'm Return of
pissing
the King, which is the shittest one.
But it was owed a nod.
But that doesn't make any
point.
sense, though. Like, I hate that argument. I've had this
I
argument
know
with
it-
so many
I know
people,
it
like,
is, but-
because it's just like, oh yeah, but it was its time because it didn't win any for the other ones. Different films.
Yeah, but
Completely
you know
different
why? It's like they
films.
messed up. It's like with the like
Right.
Leo, The Revenant was not his best film at all. But
Actually,
that's
yeah.
the one he got the
to be
Oscar.
fair, The Revenant is one.
because,
Everyone's going mad about that, and I was just like, it's a piece of shit.
I've still not
Well,
watched it.
hey, you're taking it too far.
That's one extreme.
That bear fight, bro. That bear fight.
A bear
You
fight
kidding
is
me,
fine.
bro?
Okay, if there was an Oscar
We
for
fought a
best
bear.
fight,
Yeah.
One thing, I saw an article that Jim in the States had written, and it was basically like about all the best Oscar snubs, and like Deadpool was included in that.
Yeah.
So there was a big thing about Deadpool. People thought it was generally in with a chance of being in the best picture category because it was nominated for a Producers Guild award, and
Right.
it tends to be whatever's nominated for a Producers Guild actually goes into the Oscars as well, because there's a lot of the similar sort of people voting for it.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people like generally up in arms because Deadpool wasn't in the best picture category. Like, Deadpool is all right.
I enjoyed that film.
I think it's good.
But it
That's a
shouldn't be
3-star
a
film.
Best
Like,
picture.
It's not gonna be best picture.
absolutely not.
Can you imagine that? The Arrival, La La Land, Deadpool.
Yeah.
See, I've still not seen Arrival either. I really want to see that.
Yeah, I missed it as well.
Like, I would like if we're gonna put any like. What is it? A superhero film? Dark Knight. I'd stuck that
Suicide
straight
Squad
in.
is not Oscar nominated.
Yeah, but that's
this
for
year.
fucking makeup and hair, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's not real.
Suicide
Sorry
Squad,
to all the makeup
Suicide
and
Squad
hair.
is now officially an
it's-
Oscar-nominated film. That's going to be on everything. The Oscar-nominated
I've still not seen
Suicide
Suicide Squad. I
Squad.
just cannot bring
Hot
myself to watch it.
garbage.
But that's the thing. Like, I feel really bad for the people who work in makeup and hair because it's very important to every film. But the makeup and hair in Suicide Squad is pretty good.
But what? Like,
One of them is done to make it look like a crocodile, and he's not a real. And he's not a real
He's not a real
crocodile.
crocodile,
So,
What? It's
and-
not CG.
yeah, it's not CG. It probably is actually.
you know how people make like Oscar bait movies.
Yeah.
Do you not think you could make like an Oscar bait movie where it's just like a really bad movie, but the hair and makeup is fantastic, crazy like hair and makeup?
Yeah.
Is that just what the Hunger Games was? Like
You're right.
a crap movie, but with like crazy ass beards
right,
and
yeah,
like
yeah,
flame
yeah.
dresses and stuff. They're just trying to get Oscar nominated.
I wonder if like Martin Scorsese is genuinely fuming, because
Do you think he cares anymore?
I don't know.
He's got to, right?
Yeah.
He's got what he's got what he
Yeah, but still, more.
What did he win? Did he win an Oscar for The Departed? I think it was.
Did
yeah.
Hugo not win?
I fucking hope not.
No.
I thought
That's
maybe it was
awful.
nominated.
It was nominated. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
but,
can't have won.
Yeah, it's not for me.
I want La La Land. I want La La Land to just sweep it
still
and
not
take
seen
them
it.
all.
I'm not saying.
Incredible.
I'm trying to think of like what other year where there's been people going mad for a film, and I just didn't really like it that much. 12 Years a Slave. That was pretty shite.
haven't seen it.
It's very black and white with you, Gav, isn't it?
Yeah. Didn't like
Like-
12 Years a Slave. Well, the thing is, 12 Years a Slave is just like, you know when you said like people make these Oscar baity movies, and I think like, I don't think people are generally making films for that, but it did, with that, it's just like, I made up my mind that slavery was bad a long time ago. And it's just like, the film was just like, what is this film about?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like really horrible stuff going on. And I was like, no, I don't like this at all. So 12 Years a Slave, didn't like that. Revenant, wasn't a fan of that. Then I saw Revenant in a very cold cinema, very early in the morning.
That's good
Part-
though.
part of the
It's like
experience.
4D. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shivering through
bear
that
sat
movie.
behind
Brilliant.
Oh, it's just like just a man in a really shit beer costume, like, all right.
Just batting you.
Just give you a little punch every now.
But yeah, like I'm gonna try and watch all the Best Picture stuff so we can do like a big podcast before the night before the Oscars, and we can do maybe like a bingo thing. Where we
So when is that? In like 2-3 weeks?
24th of February, I think it is.
Oh,
yeah.
my birthday.
Yeah. There we are. Awesome. Great.
Thanks for writing in, James.
Is that
Thank
it?
you.
That's the end.
You said you had a piece of feedback.
No, Alicia printed out 3, but one of them was about my Twitter, so I didn't bring it in.
All right. Cheers.
Well, because if I bring in a piece of feedback that's about me, you two would have taken the piss and been like, oh god, he's brought in something about himself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. See, there we are. Dodge a bullet.
This is Chris just writing in saying how brilliant my Twitter is.
I was like, thank you, Alicia, but I can't read that one.
Same Jurassic Park joke.
That's what it's about.
Is it right?
Might as well say now, but it was a guy.
Oh yeah, why not?
No. It was a guy saying Gav's Jurassic Park tweets. What's that all about? I do the same tweet every time Jurassic Park is on telly. That's what that's about.
How often do you check the listings to see if it's on?
You said you have a notification.
Because it must
thing.
be on like Sky Movies a lot.
It's on a lot.
Yeah.
That's like. But to be fair, it's on twice. When it's on Sky Movies, it's on twice a day,
Right.
and I only tweet it out once a
That's
day.
very kind of you.
That is nice.
yeah.
Because you lose followers.
I do lose followers, but I think it really, really amuses me.
What, is that why you're doing this?
I think it's funny.
Have you got it copy and pasted so you just paste it in?
Yeah, and I schedule it as well.
Do you?
Yeah, I schedule
This is
it.
not worth the work you're doing.
Even if I die, that will be going. I'll still.
How
go
far in advance have you done it?
Pretty far.
Really?
You need to get Joe to like code like a Gav bot that
Yeah.
will tweet like a code that knows the listings and will tweet anytime Jurassic Park's on. That would
Yeah.
be brilliant. I'd follow that account.
Would you?
No.
You're essentially
was
following
just saying that to make
You
you
are
feel
following
better.
that account. You follow me.
It's you right now, yeah.
But there's a bunch of because like the thing is with that is because it's because there's no schedule to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a schedule to my tweets, but because they'll stick it on whenever. Like it's not like every Friday
Yeah.
this tweet goes out or anything like that.
You have opened my eyes to just how much Jurassic Park is played on general television.
It used to be on more when ITV had it, but I think Sky then got the rights to do it like exclusively, so now it's not ITV anymore. But loads of people don't get that that's what I'm doing, so they're just like, "Why are you doing the same joke again?" They're like, "Because it's on telly again." That's what I'm doing. Yeah, there we go. Mystery solved. That's the end.
Always good to hear more about you, Gav.
Yeah.
Done you, mate.
Done it.
Anyway, that's it for this week's podcast. We will see you same time next week. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.